if we come back to like the peptides thing.
Okay.
A lot of these peptides have been around for a long time and used in various research settings. And then I don't know why some of them, like BPC157, I think is closer to getting approved for other uses compared to some of these others. But like I have a doctor that literally will write a prescription. They just have to be compounded, right? So they can't be like, you're not going to have a regular pharmaceutical company create these peptides yet, right? It might come to that.
But now they're starting a war on compounding pharmacies, especially GLP-1.
Well, I was just going to say, because like, I mean, back when I remember like the peptides, when I was in my 20s, I remember like trying to build muscle and messing around with peptides, like and getting them from like bodybuilding forums and playing, right? It was like kind of just, you just kind of went that route.
Yes.
I don't recommend that, right? But it's like dumb kid doing those things. And I remember like GLP-1s being like a research peptide, like that people would go and they would use it for bodybuilding competitions to like cut, right? And then it started coming into like the compounding world. And now it's, straight up prescription, Pfizer, whatever it is,
Yep. And you can't titrate the dose.
Yeah, you cannot titrate the dose. And I feel like if we talk about the proper utilization of GLP-1s, and if someone is going to use it, like they need to be able to titrate the dose. That is imperative.
That's where I've arrived at.
Yeah, it is imperative. It is imperative that you titrate the dose because like you're just going to, you're crashing people's metabolisms. And like a conspiracy mindset of mine starts going like, are we trying to crash everyone's metabolisms? Because like, I don't, quite frankly, have a problem with GLP-1 receptor agonists. I don't. I think that they have a potential use case, but when they're in a stuck dose, that's problematic. So, and that makes it, and then you're talking to people that don't have the ability to like, they can't have these open conversations with their physician where they just be like, am I taking too much? And all that they have the training in is based on what's in front of them, right? So it gets really difficult. So again, we can table that one because like that's gets into a different category. But a lot of these peptides are still reasonable to get in like an absolutely legal fashion. You just have to have a doctor that has a connection with compounding pharmacies. Now, where it stands as of this day, like day of recording, I actually don't know because it's flip-flop back and forth. I remember back in December, I remember they came down hard on peptides and then they sort of overturned it. And then peptides were like kind of allowed again, right? So it was...
I don't think they are right now. And the only reason I say that is because there are pharmacies that are doing it under the pretense that it's like a gray area. And so, for example, my friend Brigham Bueller, he's like, I'm too big now in the space. He had to stop compounding them and he refers me to smaller compounding pharmacies and he's trying to work with the FDA so that compounding pharmacies can make peptides for people legally. But because certain powers that be want to control the space, they don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
And same with, there's like a war on peptides, there's a war on stem cells. And I'm just looking at this stuff thinking, if I had a stroke, I would hope the appropriate medical professional would be giving me Cerebrolysin instead of me importing it from Austria, learning from Brian Johnson and injecting it into my ass cheek in the bathroom, but this is not advice. This is just what I've been doing.
Did Brian Johnson actually talk about it?
Yeah.
Because I've known about Cerebrolysin just through, quite frankly, just like the veteran community who like dealt with like a lot of TBIs and like I didn't know that Brian Johnson actually talked about it.
Okay. So Brian Johnson had a video on his Instagram with a horse needle injecting himself in the ass, which, I mean, if you follow Brian Johnson, he's done this a million times over, but nevertheless, he's like, this is arguably one of the most impactful cognitive performance enhancers I've utilized. And I was like, wait, what? I started paying attention. And again, to just give it a little more context, I have an ApoE4 Alzheimer's gene. I have always struggled extremely with memory. Always. At 27, people would say, like, we went to dinner with so-and-so, and I didn't remember. So it's very bizarre. It's a little bit scary. And as I've gotten a little bit older, the necessity to have that verbal fluidity, the ability to recall, the processing speed, my need for it has increased work-wise, and my age does not lend itself to getting better with regard to mental acuity. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm definitely going to be an Alzheimer's candidate. There's no question. And then I got a full body MRI and they found tiny, you tell me why, by the way. In other words, like, I think there's something there with regard to maybe something I was forced to take that I shouldn't have. And this is all speculation and conspiracy theory. However, little white matter lesions on my brain.
Interesting.
Right. Interesting. I don't smoke. I don't have high blood pressure. I exercise. I eat well. So like what could potentially cross the blood-brain barrier and attack your brain? I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to say because, again, we don't need this to get suppressed, but I found it real friggin' weird. So at that point, I'm watching Brian Johnson's video on Cerebrolysin, and he's like, this is, the most impactful thing I did. So I messaged Brian, and I was like, I can't.
As the temps start to rise, I get that familiar urge to refresh my closet. But I am done wasting money on trendy pieces that I wear once, which is why I'm obsessed with Quince. The clothes are timeless, elevated, built to last. No insane markup. I'm talking about 100% European linen shorts and dresses that start at just $30. Italian leather platform sandals, luxe swimwear that looks straight off a runway but costs half of what you'd expect. Quince partners directly with top-tier factories, cutting out the middleman so you get designer quality at a price that actually makes sense. And they only work with ethical, responsible manufacturers who care about people and the planet. Personally, I stocked up on the linen tees and the tanks, and believe it or not, a killer summer dress. Occasionally, I do wear dresses. And honestly, it finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards. Upgrade your wardrobe at quince.com. Luxury should never mean compromise. Team, give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Jillian for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Jillian to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Jillian. Choose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to take effective action. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins and inflammation, even stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, and they're all tracked in one secure place over time. It's a near 360 view to see what's happening in your body, and that's why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, Dr. Jeremy London, they're all behind Function Health. This is why I love Function Health. And you know what else? Lab visits are fast and convenient at 2,000 plus locations across the U.S. Just $499 a year, that's $1.37 per day for cutting-edge health insights. What sets Function apart? All the results are tracked over time in one secure place, so you see how your health evolves. Insights come from top doctors based on your unique results. These could cost over $10,000 if you did it on your own, and there are no perverse incentives. Function doesn't push supplements or pharmaceuticals. It's just powerful, unbiased health data designed to help you own your health. Learn more and join using my link, and the first 1,000 people get $100 credit towards their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/Jillian or use the gift code Jillian at sign up to own your health.
I can't find this.
Yeah.
I called Brigham. He's like, I can't make it. And he's like, I can't make it. And I don't know anybody who does make it. Brian connected me to a place out of Austria that shipped it to me in the mail. And then Brigham taught me like how to dose it and how to use it and monitored in his team, thank God, monitors me. And so I have like a little 5 milliliter or whatever the hell it is, milliliter friggin' syringe. I do it every 6 months, 10 doses every other day. So 10 doses total every other day. I'm not, again, don't F with this, but that's what I've been doing. And I've been through 2 cycles of it so far.
Do you feel a difference?
I'm doing so much stuff. It's tough to say though, right? So here's what I'm doing. Now I'm doing tons of creatine because I'm like, cognitive benefits. Yeah. Okay, I'm in. I never touched it because I was like, I don't want to get big. I don't want to, that whole old school bodybuilding bro thing. I fully took the bait on. And I was like, I don't want acne. Now we know that's not true. I don't want to lose my hair. Now we know that's not true. And I don't want bloating. And now we know that's not true. But it's like, it was true when I looked into it years ago. That's what was the sort of parting line about creatine. Now, oh my God, you get all this, cellular energy and none of these side effects are real. And it's really important for cognitive performance. So I'm taking that. I'm taking, the Cerebrolysin every now and again, the nicotine gum. I strategically dose my caffeine. So the problem is, how do you extrapolate one thing?
Yeah.
So I can't tell you which one or if not, but I do notice that I can be quicker and more clear, provided I've slept, with all of these different tools.
Yes, for sure.
They make a difference. And the BPC157, my wife has this autoimmune condition that's really rare called anatoderma. And I was like, all right, if million doctors tried to figure it out, and it just affects her skin.
Yeah.
And so long story short, I was like, okay, I've interviewed a million different gastroenterologists and rheumatologists. So what's going to cause this? Is it something in the environment? Let's clean out the environment. Is it a leaky gut, a permeable gut? Maybe. I put her on oral BPC157. Game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Well, that's where I think that the oral version of BPC is much easier to come by, much easier. It's a lower barrier to entry for most people. But all that aside, as far as how it actually works, I mean, it's produced in the gut, right? So BPC157 is produced in the gut, and its sole, well, I shouldn't say its sole, but its primary purpose is to repair the gut as the gut gets damaged, right? Because the gut goes through damage, right? The gut, and this is where I have, at the risk of sounding like just typical fitnessy type marketing, like a leaky gut is a very, very real thing. And unfortunately, that term has been taken by like internet marketers and like, so it's
you can't even use it in like, I invested in a supplement company. You can't even say it.
No, it's so frustrating because it's a very real thing.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It's called intestinal permeability.
Right.
And the way that in a research setting, oftentimes they literally induce inflammation is by using lipopolysaccharides, LPS, which is the molecule that's created by gram-negative bacteria and crosses through a permeable gut. So inflammation at its very core in a lot of situations comes from a leaky gut. And it's unfortunate that like it's been over-marketed and overhyped. I shouldn't say overhyped. It's just been over-marketed because it is a very real thing. And like gut barrier integrity is one of the most important things. And that's what's interesting about BPC157 in an oral form is it probably gets to the epicenter a little bit faster. Right. So I'm a big fan of BPC157. Like I've done videos talking about my own personal experience with like shoulder injuries and using it in localized spots. It works. But where it's really designed to work is in the gut. So I feel like when people are dealing with more just brain foggy, like kind of inflammatory type feelings, a lot of times it could be stemming from the gut in the first place. So that's right. Because it's just,
of course.
But if you say that, you sound like you're just another health guru, snake oil salesman. But
TikTok influencer.
Right now, the headlines are chock full of data breaches and regulatory rollbacks, making us all vulnerable. But you can do something about it. Delete Me is here to make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you do not want on the internet. For me, I feel so much more secure knowing that my personal info has been wiped from the web simply because I don't get all the robocalls. I worry far less about identity theft and so much more. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now, at a special discount for our listeners, today get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting Jillian to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text Jillian to 64,000. That's Jillian to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. Active Skin Repair utilizes a molecule called hypochlorous acid. Now, when you apply it to the skin, the molecule works by mimicking the natural immune response to cleanse, soothe irritation, reduce inflammation, and support healing. Active Skin Repair can be used to treat a wide range of skin issues, including cuts, scrapes, burns, sunburns, diaper rashes, and other types of skin damage. And it's also safe and non-toxic, making it suitable for use on all skin types, all parts of the body, and you can even use it on rosacea, eczema, and acne-prone skin. With over 500,000 happy customers, thousands of 5-star reviews, and ingredients so safe and clean they can be used by the youngest member of the family to the oldest. You now have one simple solution for all of your family's skin health needs. So visit ActiveSkinRepair.com to learn more about Active Skin Repair and to get 20% off your order. Use the code Jillian. Again, that's ActiveSkinRepair.com and the code is Jillian.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.